Here's a question that most people in church leadership have never considered. Was there a security team protecting the temple in Jerusalem during the time of Jesus? The answer is yes, and not just a loosely organized group of volunteers. We're talking about a trained, armed, institutionally sanctioned force with a chain of command, defined roles, and a mandate that came directly from God Himself. My name is Katie English, and this is Team One Trainer in the Faith and Justice podcast, where biblical principles and tactical preparedness meet. Today we're going back nearly 2,000 years to examine the temple guard and what their existence tells us about the legitimacy and the necessity of protecting God's house. The temple guard was drawn from the tribe of Levi, the same Levites God set apart for sacred service, going all the way back to the wilderness. Their role wasn't ceremonial, it was operational. They controlled access at every gate of the Temple Mount. They managed crowd flow during festivals like Passover, when Jerusalem's population could swell to several times its normal size. They maintained order in the courts. They responded to disturbances. And when the situation called for it, they made arrests. We see them in action in the Gospels, present at the arrest of Jesus in Gethsemane, and involved in the response when Jesus overturned the tables of the money changers in the outer courts. Their commanding officer, called the captain of the temple, or the Sagan, was the second most powerful figure in the entire Jewish religious establishment, answering only to the high priest himself. This was not a part-time volunteer program. This was an organized, professional force embedded within the house of worship. Now here's where it gets significant for every person who leads or serves on a church security team today. The Hebrew word at the root of the watchman's calling is shamar. It means to watch, to guard, to keep, to protect. And the first time God uses this concept in the context of a place of worship, He doesn't suggest it, He commands it. In Numbers chapter 1, verse 53, God tells Moses, and I'm paraphrasing, that the Levites are to keep watch over the tabernacle. Shamar, guard it, be responsible for it. That command didn't retire when the tabernacle gave way to Solomon's temple. It carried forward, and the temple guard was the institutional expression of that command. Men who understood that protecting the place where God's people gathered wasn't a compromise of sacred space, it was a fulfillment of sacred duty. That same principle is what drives the Team One Trainer and our House of Worship training. So what does a 2,000-year-old temple guard have to do with your church security team in 2026? Everything. The objection I hear most often from pastors and church leaders goes something like this. We don't want to make people feel like they're walking into a police station. Church is supposed to be a place of peace. And I understand that concern. I respect it. But here's the counterpoint. The Temple Mount in Jerusalem was considered the most sacred ground in the known world, and God specifically commanded that it be guarded. The presence of trained, accountable, spiritually grounded protectors did not undermine the sanctity of that space. It secured it. It allowed worship to happen without chaos, without threat, and without distraction. A well-trained church security team does the same thing. When your congregation walks through those doors on Sunday morning, they should be able to focus entirely on worship, because someone trained and prepared is already watching the perimeter, assessing the environment, and standing ready if the moment calls for it. That's not a police state, that's a watchman at the gate. If you're a pastor, an elder, a deacon, or a security professional who feels called to serve the church, I want to talk to you. The T1 Trainer exists to train and equip church security teams with the same professionalism and tactical foundation that any well-run security operation demands, grounded in the biblical mandate that started with the Levites and continues with us today. We cover threat assessment, access control, use of force principles, communication protocols, and how to build a security culture that fits your congregation, not a one-size-fits-all template. You can learn more at www.teamonetrainer.com or reach out through Team One Trainer to discuss training options for your church or organization. The Watchman's Post has never been vacant. The question is, who's standing in it at your church? I'm KD English, Training Director T1. Stay vigilant,